Most drivers in this country will burn through over $4,000 in car repairs over the next few years. And here's the part that's gonna make you angry. Almost every single one of those repairs was completely avoidable. I've been a mechanic for over 15 years. I've had cars rolled into my shop on flatbeds that should have never broken down in the first place. And the reason they did? The owners never knew the tricks I'm about to share with you. So today, I'm spilling 10 secrets your dealership is praying you never figure out. One of them alone can save you from a $4,000 transmission rebuild. Another one takes 10 seconds and stops your check engine light from ever coming on for the wrong reason again. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're gonna know more about your car than 99% of the drivers on the road. Let's start with number 10, and this one is gonna shock you because almost everybody is doing it wrong in one of two ways. It's about how you warm up your car in the morning. Now, half of you are sitting in your driveway letting the engine idle for 5, 10, even 15 minutes before you drive off. The other half are starting the car and immediately putting the pedal to the floor before the engine has a chance to wake up. Both of those habits are quietly destroying your engine. Here's what most drivers don't understand. Modern engines aren't carbureted anymore. They don't need to sit and idle to warm up. In fact, idling for too long can actually glaze your cylinder walls and dilute your oil with raw fuel. But flooring it cold is even worse because the oil hasn't circulated yet and your engine components are running with almost no lubrication. The sweet spot is 30 seconds. That's it. Start the car, give it 30 seconds for the oil pump to push lubrication everywhere it needs to go, then drive off gently for the first 3 to 5 minutes. Don't push past 3,000 RPM until the temperature gauge starts moving. I had a guy come into my shop last year with a turbocharged sedan, only 60,000 miles on the clock, and his turbo was completely shot. $2,400 repair. The cause? He flooded that thing every single morning before the oil ever made it up to the turbo bearings. 30 seconds. That's all you needed. Now this next one is gonna save you $120 and a wasted Saturday afternoon. Number 9, the gas cap trick that cancels your check engine light. Picture this. You're driving home, everything's fine, and suddenly that yellow check engine light pops up on your dash. Your stomach drops. You're already mentally adding up what this is gonna cost. But before you panic and book a dealer appointment, do this first. Pull over, pop the gas cap, then twist it back on until you hear it click at least 3 times. A loose or worn gas cap is the single most common cause of a check engine light in this country. Your car's evaporative emission system is incredibly sensitive. The slightest leak, even one you can't feel or hear, will trigger that light. Now here's the kicker. The dealer knows this. When you book that appointment, the first thing they're gonna do is check that exact thing. Then they're gonna charge you $120 for a diagnostic and tell you the cap was loose. If the light doesn't go off after a few drive cycles with the cap tightened, replace the cap itself. They cost about $12 at any auto parts store. 40% of the time, that's your entire problem solved. Number 8 is one of the most overlooked transmission tricks out there, and I see drivers cooking their transmissions in stop and go traffic without even realizing it. When you're sitting at a long red light, what do? Most drivers keep their foot on the brake with the car still in drive. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. When you do that, your transmission is still engaged, still fighting against the brake, and the torque converter is generating heat the entire time you're sitting there. Heat is the #1 killer of automatic transmissions. There's a fluid in there that breaks down faster the hotter it gets. Here's the fix. If you're stopped for more than 15 or 20 seconds, just slip the shifter into neutral. Takes half a second, your transmission disengages, the heat stops building, and your fluid lasts dramatically longer. Then shift back into drive when the light's about to turn green. This one habit alone can add years to your transmission's life. Number 7, this is the parking brake lie that pretty much every driving instructor has told you. You've been told to only use the parking brake on hills, or only when you really need it. That advice is wrong, and it's the reason your rear brakes are slowly seizing up while you do nothing. Your parking brake mechanism, especially on cars with rear disc brakes, has cables, springs, and small actuators that need to be exercised regularly. If you never use it, those parts seize seize up from rust and lack of movement. I had a regular customer about 2 years back, drove a mid-sized sedan, never touched her parking brake in 8 years. She brought it in for a brake job and both rear calipers were rusted solid. The parking brake mechanism inside was so corroded we had to replace the entire caliper assemblies. $1,100. All because that little lever or button never moved. Use your parking brake every single time you park on hills or flat ground. It takes 1 second and it keeps the entire mechanism healthy. Real quick, before we keep going, do me a small favor and hit that like button if you've already learned something. I don't get paid by dealerships to share this stuff. In fact, they'd probably prefer I shut up about it. So a quick tap on like really does help me out. Alright, let's get into number 6 because this next one is one of the biggest mistakes I see drivers make every single day. Number 6, the fuel pump killer that 90% of drivers do without thinking. You know that habit of running your gas tank down to E before filling up? Maybe you push it even further until that low fuel light starts blinking. Here's what's actually happening inside your fuel tank. Your fuel pump sits at the bottom of the tank and is designed to be cooled and lubricated by the fuel itself. When you constantly run the tank low, that pump is exposed to air. It overheats, and the bearings inside start wearing out way before they should. I had a customer roll in last winter on a tow truck. His car just died on the highway completely. Diagnosis, fuel pump, replacement cost, $1,140 between parts and labor. He admitted he'd been running the car to E for years because he liked filling it up all at once. Here's the rule, never let your tank go below a quarter full. Fill up when you hit a quarter every time. Your fuel pump stays submerged, stays cool, and lasts the life of the car instead of dying at 100,000 miles like a lot of them do. Number 5 is a 5-second trick that practically nobody knows about, and once you learn it, you'll do it forever. It's called the reverse first then drive method. When you back out of your driveway or a parking spot, what do? You shift into reverse, back up, then immediately throw it into drive and take off, right? That sudden jolt from reverse to drive is rough on your transmission and your brakes. Instead, do this. After backing up, come to a complete stop. Pause for 1 full second, then shift into drive. That tiny pause lets the transmission fully disengage from reverse before it engages drive. No clunk, no shock load, no slow grinding wear on internal components. Same goes for going from drive to reverse. Always come to a complete stop first, never shift on the move. Your transmission will thank you with an extra 50,000 miles of service. Number 4 is one of the easiest dealership scams to spot once you know what to look for, the air filter scam. Every time you go in for a routine service, the dealer comes out with that same speech. Sir, your air filter is dirty. It really should be replaced today. That'll be $120. They pull it out, hold it up to the light, and it does look dirty. Here's what they're not telling you. An air filter that's a little dirty is actually working perfectly. Air filters are designed to capture dust and debris. A pristine white filter is a brand new one that hasn't started doing its job yet. The real test is this. Pull your air filter out yourself. It's right under the hood in a black plastic box. 4 clips or 2 screws. Takes 90 seconds. Hold it up to the sun or a bright light. If you can still see light passing through the pleats, it's fine. Only when it's so packed with debris that almost no light passes through does it actually need replacement. And when it does, a genuine OEM filter from any auto parts store is 15 to 20 bucks and a 2-minute job. I had a regular client who told me he'd been replacing his air filter at every oil change for 3 years straight at the dealer because they kept telling him it was dirty. He'd spent over $400 on filter changes that the car didn't need. The filters were barely past halfway worn out. Quick reminder, if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most drivers out there. Smash that subscribe button because the last 3 secrets are the heaviest hitters, and number 1 is the trick that saved one of my customers over $4,000 on a single repair. You don't want to miss it. Number 3 is going to make you look at your headlights in a whole new way. If your headlights are cloudy, yellow, hazy, or just look foggy, you're not just dealing with a cosmetic problem. Hazy headlights cut your nighttime visibility by up to 50%. That's not me exaggerating, that's a real safety issue. Most drivers either ignore it or pay a detail shop $200 to restore them. Here's the trick. Toothpaste. Plain white toothpaste. The abrasive kind, not the gel. Squeeze a generous amount onto a clean microfiber cloth, work it into the headlight lens in small circles for about 5 minutes per light, then rinse it off with warm water. The mild abrasive in toothpaste is exactly the right grit to remove the oxidized layer of plastic on the surface of your headlights. After that, hit them with a clear coat or even a UV protectant spray to seal them, and you've just done $200 worth of headlight restoration with $3 worth of supplies. Takes about 10 minutes per side. Your night driving will improve immediately, and you'll spot deer, pedestrians, and road hazards way sooner than before. Number 2 is the secret the dealership is gonna fight me hardest on, because this one cuts directly into their profit margins. The transmission fluid lie. Walk into any dealership today, especially for a newer vehicle, and they'll proudly tell you your transmission has lifetime fluid that never needs to be changed. Lifetime fluid. Sounds great, right? Here's the truth nobody at the counter is gonna tell you. Lifetime in their dictionary means the lifetime of the warranty, which is usually around 100,000 miles. After that, you're on your own, and your transmission is on borrowed time. Transmission fluid, no matter what they claim, breaks down. It absorbs heat, it picks up tiny metal particles from the gears, and over time, it loses its ability to lubricate properly. The dealership wants you to believe it's lifetime because they're hoping you trade the car in before the transmission grenades itself. I had a customer 3 years ago, beautiful midsize SUV, 112,000 miles. Came in with a slipping transmission, asked me how often he'd had the fluid changed. Never, because the dealer told him he didn't have to. Final repair bill for a full transmission rebuild? $4,200. The fix, a 15-minute drain and fill of transmission fluid every 60,000 miles. Costs around $150. That's it. That single act of maintenance can extend your transmission's life by another 100,000 miles easily. Don't let them tell you otherwise. And finally, number 1, the trick that puts dealership level diagnostic power in your pocket and stops you from ever getting overcharged on a diagnostic fee again. It's called an OBD2 scanner. Every single vehicle built after 1996 in this country has a universal diagnostic port underneath the dashboard on the driver's side, usually right above where your knees go. For about $20, you can buy a small Bluetooth OBD2 adapter. Plug it into that port, download a free app on your phone like Car Scanner, and within seconds, you're reading every fault code your car has ever stored. That same scan, by the way, is what dealerships charge you $150 to perform. But here's the part nobody talks about, and this is the real secret. Most people only use these adapters to read codes after the check engine light comes on. The pros use it to monitor live data. You can watch your engine temperature, your fuel trims, your transmission fluid temperature, your oxygen sensor readings, all in real time while you're driving. And this is where the gold is. Live data lets you spot problems weeks or months before the check engine light ever turns on. A failing oxygen sensor will show fuel trims drifting before the computer flags it. A weakening fuel pump will show pressure dropping under load. A transmission with low fluid will show temperature spiking on highway runs. I had a customer last spring, picked one of these up after watching a video like this, started monitoring his fuel trims, noticed they were drifting upward over a few weeks, brought it into me. We caught a vacuum leak before it killed his catalytic converter, saved him about $2,000 on a converter replacement and another $500 in damaged sensors, a $20 adapter, and 10 minutes of attention. That's all it took. So which one of these did you already know, and which one completely shocked you? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And listen, if even one of these secrets saved you money or saved your car, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button, because next week I'm dropping a video on 5 things you're doing every single day that are silently destroying your car. Number 3 on that list is something I see almost every customer doing without even realizing it, and the damage is permanent. Click that next video right now and I'll see you on the other side.